Well, everyone, you guys already know my iPhone 6s fans, my iPhone 6s fanatics. You know I couldn't leave you guys hanging for too long. I had to come back and drop another video on it. And last year, I actually did the same video, but actually things have kind of changed. And yeah, there's still some reasons that are overlapping, but I want to kind of talk about the top 5 reasons to get an iPhone 6s in 2020. Now, me personally, I like the iPhone 6s. I've always loved that phone. I think it was one of the most important iPhones, and there's been some huge revelations even within the last couple months that would probably make me recommend this phone now more so than what it was in 2019, which is pretty crazy. Most phones are not that way. As they get older, they're less and less, popular. I would recommend them less and less, but the iPhone 6s is just full of surprises. And I said 5 reasons. It might actually end up turning to a ton more because I go on tangents all the time. But first of all, the iPhone 6s came out in 2015, so it's not the newest phone right now. But the biggest advantage for the iPhone 6s right now, and one of the reasons I would recommend it, is the price point. This thing is super cheap now, and it's only getting cheaper by the day. In 2019, it was selling for however much it was selling for, like $150, I think, around that price tag. Nowadays, you can pick them up for like around $100, probably even less than $100 if you look hard enough. And that is a really impressive price to pay for a phone that honestly still has a lot going for it, and it's still getting software support, which is really, really cool. Which kind of leads me into my second reason. This phone, as well as the iPhone SE, but we're talking about the 6s right now. This phone, the iPhone 6s, is potentially getting iOS 14, which kind of makes sense now that I kind of hear about it, and it kind of makes sense. I know I said before it probably wasn't getting it, but if the rumors are true, this phone could potentially be getting iOS 14, which is super, super impressive. So not only are you getting pretty much software support until iOS 13 ends, which would be about that June time, but you would also be getting the full next year on top of software cycle as well. And if Apple switches to their new software cycle support, where they keep supporting the older iPhones with point X releases for their same iOS format, something like iOS 12, then this phone could potentially getting like extra security updates on top of iOS 14 for like another year or so as well, so basically that, to kind of sum up that, this phone is going to be lasting forever. It's going to be lasting a very, very long time, which is super impressive. And that's one thing I love about this phone. It just will not die, which is super cool. And speaking about the overall depth and body of it, I don't even know where I'm going with this. The repairability of this phone, which I've stated before, is still one of the most important things for this phone. If you go and crack the screen, it doesn't really cost you an arm and a leg to fix it. It's a fairly easy process. I am not a person who can easily fix, things that much, but with the 6S and with my iPhone 6, I've been able to fix those things before, which is super, super easy to do. Even for someone like me, yeah, I know a lot about phones, but I don't know how to fix phones. And you guys are smarter than me, so I'm pretty sure you can figure it out too. Replacing the batteries, replacing the cameras, replacing any parts of this thing are super easy and super cheap, versus something like an iPhone 11 Pro. If you crack that screen, good luck fixing it yourself. There's not even many parts available in the market yet. Where the 6S has been out for so long, literally if you break anything of this phone, you can first of all either repair it yourself, or you can just go and get a new iPhone 6S, because those things are super cheap now. So if you break it, you won't necessarily feel like you broke a super impressive phone or super crazy phone. It'll just cost you like $100 to go get a new one, which is super awesome. So that kind of covers it up in terms of my third reason. Now the fourth reason, which is probably the most important one that has actually happened in the last couple months, would be that checkra1n jailbreak. This jailbreak is compatible for the iPhone 6s, and it's probably one of the most impressive things that have happened for these older iPhones, because the newer iPhones are not compatible with this jailbreak. And what this jailbreak pretty much does, and I've already done the tutorials, I've already done tweak videos. If you guys want specific jailbreak tweaks for even older iPhones, I've already made those videos too. Basically, this jailbreak is a hardware defect for most iPhones. So what that means is that if you're on any iOS version, whether you're on iOS 11 or you're on iOS 14 in the future for the 6S, you will still be able to jailbreak your phone, which is very, very important. It's a must-have. If you have a phone like this, it is a semi-tethered jailbreak in a way, so it's not going to like break your phone or anything like that, and it's a super easy process, and you can jailbreak your iPhone 6S on any iOS version, which is super, super cool. So if I were you, I would 100% recommend doing it. Like I said, the newer iPhones, the 10s, the 11s, those iPhones are not compatible with the jailbreaks, but these older ones like the iPhone 6s are, which is super cool. That's a humongous reason why I would recommend picking up an iPhone 6s in 2020. Now the last reason is like 50 reasons combined into one. First of all, build quality I think is still great. It has Touch ID too, which is super awesome. The headphone jack is still there, which is really cool. Performance is still very impressive as well. Whenever I was really doing anything for the success, and actually for a majority of time, if you remember last year, I dropped a lot of videos talking about how my iPhone 6s was actually faster than a lot of other phones that I had in the market, like the iPhone 10 and I think even the iPhone 10R. My iPhone 6s was technically faster than those, which is pretty impressive for the 6s. So that's a super impressive thing for the iPhone 6s. And dude, honestly, the iPhone 6s in 2020 I think is worth more now than what it was last year. I think it's a very impressive phone. I think it has a lot going for it still. Yes, it's not the best looking thing. Yes, it's not the best battery life ever on a device or anything like that. But I still think it has a lot going for it. It has a lot of life left in it. And if you're in the market for a phone, I would recommend you, if you have to save some money here and there, I'd recommend you look at an iPhone 6s, If you need a phone for your kid or your uncle or whatever, an iPhone 6s I think still has my seal of approval, and I think it's worth it more now than last year in my opinion. So that pretty much covers up that. If you guys have any other questions or anything, leave it down in the comment section below. Hit that like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. Every single subscriber that we get really does count, so it'll mean so much if you guys could hit that. Also check out the other links down in the description as well. My Twitter, my Instagram, my second channel, all those links are linked down below. I'd really appreciate if you guys could check it out. But more importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.